Since you probably haven't been living under a rock as big as the Stone of Destiny for the past few months, you probably already know that the royal family will be taking part in a big event this weekend. The new king and queen were crowned on Saturday evening. This was the first time in 7 decades that the British have gotten a new ruler. Here, you can find out everything you need to know about the coronation of their Majesties. What does the coronation actually stand for? Since it's been a few decades since the last coronation, most of us probably haven't seen the show, ceremony, and religious rituals that lead up to a king being officially crowned. Also, it's likely that a few crowns were involved. After taking a promise to follow the law and the church, Charles will be anointed with holy oil while sitting in the coronation chair on top of the Stone of Destiny. Charles will take the oath while he is sat in the coronation chair. From the Latin word corona, which means crown, we get the English word coronation. But there is a lot more to it than just putting the crown on the sovereign's head. It's a religious ceremony that puts the monarchy, the church, and both God and the state together in a symbolic way to perform the rite. During the rite, the monarch makes promises to both God and his or her country. You shouldn't expect to see anything, though, while this is happening. During this very public and aired part of the ceremonies, the people taking part will have absolute privacy thanks to a screen. As the next part of the ritual, the king is given a ring, swords, scepters, and orbs, which are all parts of the crown jewels. After that, he will be given the crown of St. Edward, but he will be wearing a different crown when he goes. After everything is done, the king and queen will go to Buckingham Palace, where they will be given a royal salute and 3 cheers from the armed services. What happens during the event that crowns the new king or queen? So let's get right down to the facts, shall we? Justin Welby, who is the Archbishop of Canterbury, will be in charge of the event. The most important parts of the rite are the acknowledgement, the oath, the anointing, the investiture, and the crowning. The enthroning and worshipping come after that. When the sovereign goes out into the theater of the abbey and introduces themselves to the people, they are recognized. After taking the coronation oath, which is a promise to rule by the law, do justice and kindness, and support the Church of England, the Archbishop anoints the ruler with holy oil. After the ruler has taken the coronation oath, this is done. This part of the ritual, which most people think is the most important, was not shown on TV in 1953. Archbishop Welby has told us why we won't be able to see the king on Charles' big day. In the official souvenir book, he wrote that the moment is a sign of being given a special task by the people for which God's help is needed. In other words, the moment is a sign that the people have given you a special task for which you need God's help. He went on to say, this is a time when the king is set apart for service. Service to this country's people and service to God. Was there something that seemed very odd? In case you were asking, it's King Charles' job to keep a tradition that's been going on for 1,000 years. Kylie Klein Nixon, a writer for Stuff, did an investigation and found that 1,000 years of royal traditions involve a few strange practices. King Charles wore silk shorts and stockings, and he will wear bands in the future. However, his ring might not be able to be worn anymore. How does one feel about Camilla? During the event, the queen was given her own crown, even though it was probably a little less fancy and didn't have her own rock. What does this Stone of Fate mean? Indeed, a 150-kilogram piece of rock that belonged to the Scots was taken by King Edward I of England about 700 years ago. After the stone was stolen, it was used to make thrones that British kings sat on. Folklore says that when the stone found out who the real master was, it let out a loud shout of happiness. It was then sent back to Scotland, but it was brought back for the king's big day and even has its own coronation chair to sit on. The Stone of Destiny was shown at the gathering. It had come all the way from Scotland to be there for such an important event. The real ceremony started about 10 o'clock at night. Do you want everything about today to feel like a great event? A lot of films and specials about the royal family were shown throughout the day. It's possible to find out here what, when, and where. Will there be a party afterward? Yes, but only to a certain point. The next day, about 20,000 people from the public showed up to watch the coronation concert on the grounds of Windsor Castle. Winnie the Pooh and Tom Cruise both went to the show for the King of England's coronation on Sunday. Ed Sheeran, Harry Styles, the Spice Girls, and Adele, all well-known artists, have all said they will not be singing at the event. Even so, the planners have put together a pretty good list of famous people, including Katy Perry and Lionel Richie. There have been rumors that Winnie the Pooh and Tom Cruise will show up at the event, giving the country light. The most exciting part of the crowning concert will be an event called Lighting Up the Nation. This event will bring the whole country together to celebrate the crowning by using projectors, lasers, drone displays, and illuminations to light up the famous sites all over the UK. So far, we know about 7 of the 10 places where the event will take place. One of these is the beach in Blackpool, where there will be a watch party from the Blackpool Tower. Sheffield Town Hall will put on a show in the Peace Gardens that will be seen by a crowd that runs between the quays. Also, the lights on the Tyne Bridge in Newcastle and the Millennium Bridge in Gateshead will show themselves in the water. A drone show will light up the night sky above the Eden Project in Cornwall, and the complex's biomes will take on a rainbow of colors for the benefit of volunteers from the area who have been asked to watch. There will also be light shows in different parts of Belfast, Edinburgh, and Cardiff. During the concert, the sites of the last 3 light shows will be told. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more interesting information.